So we started Crooked Condiments in 2009, and we wanted to make local condiments using local ingredients. That was the big key hold. We started out with mustards, and to use a local ingredient, we had to get a little creative. And since Asheville had such a budding brewery scene, we decided to use beer.
Yeah.
Which is also a really great reason to buy kegs.
Yes.
Mass amounts
If you need
of
another excuse.
We need kegs. Because of a signature engraved tap. But so we started, and the Gaelic Ale mustard was born, and it's our flagship. And Highland was again beyond instrumental in that, and helping promote and giving us their phenomenal logo to put right on the side. It was a very big boost to us.
Absolutely.
And then it just kind of blossomed. We started working with farmers and getting peppers grown for us in Western North Carolina, and making hot sauce, getting apples out of Edneyville and making apple butter, and then St. T's, the St. Teresa's mustard is just the newest. It's of course radish base, so kind of, we have like a sweeter beery mustard, and then of course sassy minx mustard.
Sassy minx.
Yeah, I can see her. She's sassy for sure.
She's super sassy.
She is. And the original too, the Gaelic, is absolutely incredible. It's just really, really unique flavor. And it caught me by surprise, because I don't think most mustards, especially like yellow-based mustards that I've had, I just don't think as being particular. I mean, they're mustards. Yeah. But this one just like kicked me in the face, and I was like, oh,
that's
nice.
unique. Yeah.
I mean, it's flavor focused. It's beer focused.
Yeah.
Which kind of reflects on Asheville itself, really.
Totally.
Asheville's a beer-focused city, so why not make some sauce and some beer sass to it? I like it.
I like it too.
You're from Asheville, right?
Yes.
What's so interesting about the food scene here that allows amazing products like this to be?
Well, really the past 10 years, Asheville has grown up around a food and beverage scene. It used to close down in the winter. It used to close down at 9 o'clock at night. We get a couple good restaurants, people started remembering that, and then the national farm-to-table movement finally got to Asheville. It was an explosion. Between the farm-to-table movement and the growing beer scene, Asheville developed a completely separate economy. That's how I think about it. It's always been a tourist city because of the surroundings, but now people come here for the beer. There's people making mustards with beer, shampoo with beer. It's this kind of co-evolution. And the farms that have always been here that just sold mass are now doing specialty things and tailgate markets and working directly with the restaurants, which there are so many phenomenal restaurants. I mean, it really is like a taste of Asheville. It really is how to put it out there, because there's so many different. You can just one good restaurant to another.
Yeah.
And it's really, again, we couldn't have had this if it wasn't for Highland, who helped us out and got us going with the Gaelic mustard. Kachina 24, who started using our product and putting it out in masses. And so we were able to say actually to local grocers, like, oh, you can taste it here. People like it. You want to sell it?
Yeah.
And again, it's just like this incubator, like fun, like local focused area. And there's more and more popping up, but I just feel like Asheville is exceptional with it because of the beer scene and the food scene, and we are able to grow so much here.
Yeah.
Like as far as food-wise, from peppers to apples to whatnot.
And it seems like you have a really appreciative clientele here. Like they understand good food, and that allows.
And they want it.
And they want it.
Look
and
for
that
it.
allows people to be able to sell some really cool stuff that might be more difficult to take off in other places, because you have to convince a clientele that it's important that they eat this. But here it's like, yeah, bring it on.
Exactly, and that's why we put Asheville. It's product of Asheville is on the very front of every label. It's a selling point.
Yeah.
Because restaurants will close here like that. They're not, used to having local support. If they are not using local, if it's not working together, you will close. And there's not a lot of chains popping up. It's definitely more independent restaurants, and it's again, especially for downtown area, it's a thriving force.
Yeah.
And so for us, again, it's Asheville's a selling point. The beer's a selling point, so it benefits us greatly.
What's the most rewarding part of being a small condiment producer?
I mean, there's definitely two. The more
Other than the fact that you get to deal with all these kegs of beer.
Yeah.
Again, there's
is that it?
definitely two. There's the earnest and truly heartfelt being a native, and my mom and business partner being a native here. being able to work with the farmers and being able to put made in Asheville, made 60% or more local ingredients for every product, that
It's really cool.
that makes me, it's more. It's not, oh yeah, I made this. It's from here. Its roots are here, and that's really important. And that I actually do make it here. I do not outsource, which is more and more rare, which I have found out.
We have too.
As have we.
Yeah.
It's very different. But that, and I get to get massive amounts of kegs. I get truckfuls of kegs, and I get to go out to these farms, and I get to work with the restaurants who are like, hey, I found your product. Like, we got a call from a restaurant in Charleston. Hey, I found your product. I've been doing it with this. What else do you have?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'll be happy to tell you about it.
Sure.
I'll be there in 4 hours.
Yeah.
What's for dinner? So it's like, you know, indulging in my foodie base, which I learned from both parents, and having a mother that was phenomenal cook growing up. So
Yeah.
I have this like snobby food. I like it like straight from the ground onto my plate. So I get to like kind of indulge in that
Heck
too.
yeah.
So
Definitely.
it's pretty sweet.
Part of the reason you use so much beer too is because you don't use any water.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of like a first ingredient for a lot, especially mustards,
Yeah.
you'll still see water because it is, and, you know, has to have like that spreadable consistency.
My brother and I were both like, what's
Yeah. Number one ingredient.
ale?
Ale.
Score.
Beer. Yeah.
Score.
So you got a good product right there.
Yeah, it's
We have not been checking more labels than on this trip. We're just like, every time we get a product, we're like,
I've never been a label junkie until
Yeah.
we're like, yeah, oh, this winery does, we only use grapes, yeast, clay, and
water.
Yeah.
That's it. No, not even water. But like, it's crazy. Yeah. Cool.
well, if you had to define like what is an artisanal like craft good, what would you, how would you kind of, what would you call it? How would you label it?
What makes us different than French's?
Well, hey, you got this minky nun on it. Just be that French's.
That's it?
No, I mean, again, and outsourcing is like a, I don't know, it's a big thing for me. I don't like outsourcing. It bothers me. It's supposed to be a craft.
Right.
It's a craft product. For me, craft means, again, cheesy, but it's so true. It's made with love. It's made by hand. It has heart in it. It has, again, working with Oscar Wong at Highland.
Right.
That is important to me. That makes it taste better to me. That it's a name recognition, but it's also, it's a flavor, it's roots. So for me, this is, to be a craft, it's made by hand. It has roots, and it gives back. I'm gonna work with local farmers, I'm gonna work with local brewers, I'm gonna work with local restaurants. And again, of course, you know, we're a business, we hope to spread that.
Yeah.
But we will always be based here. We will always have Asheville on our hearts, on our minds, and on our jars.